is good because of that rain, the splash and things. So you may need to watch for fungal issues beginning. Tomatoes, I think our overnight lows have been already in the low to mid 70s the last few days, and that's going to stop some of our larger fruiting tomatoes from setting fruit. You can go out and go buy the blossom set spray stuff. It's not going to really do much. It's our nighttime temperatures that affect that mostly. Your peppers should continue to go. I think if you've got good bees going around, I think your cucumbers will continue to go as long as they're going up. Squash, our summer squash is usually a lot closer to the ground, so you're going to be dealing with fungal issues at this point, and so it might be one of those kind of things that you're going, okay, we've already had a good harvest of this, let's go ahead and get this out and begin to prepare for some truly summer crops that'll go through all the summer heat and rain.
Right, and that's the thing, I got a lot of yellow flowers on my cucumbers that are growing up.
Right.
Now we put one cucumber plant in a pot.
Okay.
And it was doing okay, but then we looked at the pot yesterday and we looked at it and the pot's full of grass and weeds.
Yeah, pull the grass and weeds.
We pulled all the grass and weeds because the cucumber plant was fighting for nutrients.
Right,
probably.
right.
So it probably wasn't doing as well. It'll probably start doing a little better now.
It should do a little better.
And it's got yellow flowers on it, but it had no cucumber bud. It
Right,
wasn't making cucumbers yet. And I told Susan it's probably because it was fighting with these weeds.
It may have been for a little bit of nutrition.
I mean, when I say weeds, we pulled out probably 12, 14 clumps of weeds out of the plant.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, they were crabgrass.
Right, so
when
quite a bit
the
of
when the lawnmower drove by, threw
seeds
seeds
in it. Yeah.
Right. So we cleared it out to where the entire thing was covered in weeds and the cucumber plants were under it.
Yeah.
So now the cucumber plant's the only thing in the pot.
Right, yeah, now it's not competing for sunlight, it's not competing for the nutrition that's in there. With all these heavy feedings that, when we started our gardens back in March, we worked some good organic material in, we maybe put a slow release fertilizer in. It may be time with what you have left is to go ahead and put a little more fertilizers in there.
We got the little liquid fertilizer.
You got the little Kool-Aid pods, the popsicle. Yeah, that's something. You know what a coworker called them popsicles.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
See, I eat the popsicles that you get at Walmart and freeze.
Yeah.
I literally eat a bag of those every 4 days.
Sugar ice. Yeah.
Basically frozen sugar.
Yeah, sure. There's a little flavoring in there.
Yeah. So, but the water is a great thing. But in the deluge we got, it could also be a dangerous thing.
It can leach out, and just the plants have been growing and using those fertilizers. So adding some more at this point of those things that are going to last a longer time, your peppers, your eggplant, if you've got okra in, say you got rid of your green beans and you're putting in your southern peas. Peas and beans don't need a lot of fertilizer, but you may want to go ahead and work a little more organic material, or again, a slow release fertilizer is not going to hurt them. They just don't need as much as something that's a heavy feeder like tomatoes and things like that.
I'm getting messages that the camera's picking us up, but not the microphone. So
if
you're out there on YouTube,
lip read.
Bear with us. Yeah, lip read. That works.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Morning, you. Yeah. What can we do for you today?
Go to settings, lower left.
It's probably that we've recharged. We had a few years with some good rains. We've had not this past winter, but the winter before, we had actually a fairly wet winter. So it's, each time we have good rain seasons, good tropical storm seasons. I know everybody said, it's hurricane season. Well, it's not necessarily scary. It's also our rainy season, and that recharges all of these areas. And most of the golf courses nowadays are all using reclaimed water, which is beneficial. They're not pulling more water up out of the ground to spray on grass to perk back through. And I mean, because if we're good stewards of the water to make sure that that aquifer stays clean, we're, you know, and we do limit the irrigation in both residential business and things like that kind of situations, that it, you know, we should be okay. I mean, the state, the land, the area, the swamp areas, there's only so much that you can put in. I know there's a lot of farmland that has become houses, but you know, right now I think we're doing okay. You know, we're not like some states who go years and years and years with a drought. We always seem to get something out of each year. A deeper. I did hear something on that. Yeah, a deeper one. Yeah, I have heard something on it. I don't know. Yeah.
Jeff Halcomb, who used to be the water czar for the city here.
Yeah.
Back 5-6 years ago on the Voice of Ocala radio show I used to be doing in the afternoon.
Right.
Said he was there the day that they drilled down and found the water in the second aquifer. So there is a second aquifer, Hugh, down lower than the one that we take water out of now. There is a second aquifer. It's been confirmed by the St. Johns River Authority. So yeah, there's another one down there.
There's another one, yeah. So again, it is, but again, good stewards.
It's way down there.
Good stewards of the water that we're using up above, to where we're not throwing excessive fertilizers down, not to where we're not polluting that underground water and those lakes and streams, things that recharge that aquifer, and both of the aquifers. You figure somehow or another that second aquifer is being recharged somewhere.
Somewhere. It's got to filter down somewhere.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, on the landscape, you're fine. That stuff's good. Your shrubbery and things like that should be fine and dandy. The lawn, again, I would be, let the lawn tell you that it needs it, but probably looking at least a week. We would have to go over a week before the lawn would become stressed again and would actually need it. Look, we're in the rainy season.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Me too.
Yeah, you know, people, but don't let your guard down. People think, oh, it rains, so now I can go out and build a bonfire in the yard. Calm down. We're not there yet.
Well, but I believe they have lifted.
They have lifted the voluntary ban, but still be diligent.
Common sense. Sense.
You know, don't go out there and think, now I can build a bonfire and I don't have to have a water hose near me or anything.
No, have the water hose nearby. Have it contained like you would any other time. Yeah, I was looking at my little pile of stuff I have one of the galvanized rings. It's a pretty nice one. But when I walked out there, I went, oh shoot, I left my wheelbarrow standing up. And so I had what is that, 8 cubic foot of water. Full of water.
This is a mosquito bed.
Yeah, so it's dumped now, and now I have to air the tire up, because when you put that kind of weight in there, the tires go flat.
I don't have a galvanized ring. I just have a hole in the ground, an indentation in the ground. I mean, galvanized ring.
Yeah.
You sound like you're one of those people that put like pavers out and everything like that,
well,
too.
Yeah, mine's sitting on a concrete slab that I don't know why the concrete slab's there, but I have 2 concrete slabs in my yard. I'm not sure what the second one was for.
Good old boy in South Georgia is a hole in the ground. You know?
I have too many trees around. I'm a little worried about. I can't even dig a hole. I have clay.
That gumbo clay is ridiculous.
I don't even think this is gumbo.
Is it the gray clay?
No, it's clay. It's about 4 inches under the top.
And it's not the gray clay.
No.
Well, at least it's not gumbo. That blue-gray clay is hard to get, and it won't drain. It will not drain.
This at least, when we were having the heavy rain, I stepped out on the porch, and you could see the water standing in the yard while it was raining hard. As the rain slowed down, it was soaking in. So it just.
I think people sometimes also forget that retention ponds are entries into the aquifer. They're there to help with fire. They're there to help with water runoff. But they also
There are also recharge
Right.
areas, and actually, there's a really fancy one over at
The old-
441 and 31st/32nd Street.
Uh-huh.
That's actually a series of
Recharge
water
part, right.
reclamation and that for stormwater, because there's some caves over there.
Right.
And there's an actual natural lake on the other side, just a quarter mile down on the right side if you're coming this direction. And then on the other side, there's actually a series, I believe it's 3 different ones. There's actually some signage there that explains everything. A lot of times it looks very, very overgrown. There's a lot of native aquatic plants that are there that are filter type plants. So, we have that going. And then what here?
There's a huge recharge park
Yeah.
at the old Pine Oaks Golf Course.
Right.
They took the entire east course, which was a 9-hole east course, and turned it into a recharge park.
Right.
If you haven't been there, go. Because you're doing
It's a-
yourself a disservice if you haven't been there.
And you can learn so much about how
Right.
how water recharges into the aquifer for us.
It is a walking lesson.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's a very nice walk, too.
Yeah.
So it gives you exercise, you learn
You
about how it
get your fresh
recharges.
air, yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic park. And, we have a lot of, I play golf at Ocala Golf Club.
Right.
And there are 2 big ponds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's one big pond. There's a runoff that feeds that pond.
Right.
That runs down all the way down from number 3 all the way down to number 4, across number 4, into the pond that separates the tee box from the green on number
Right.
5. There's a pond on 14 that fills up. And then there's a huge retention pond that separates 12 and 13 that during Hurricane, the last one that came through, the one that came right up the gut, was it Irma? Yeah, Irma.
Yeah.
During Hurricane Irma, I'd never seen this retention pond hold water.
Oh,
And there's another retention pond in between number 8 and number 1 green and number 8 green. But the retention pond between 13 and 12 is huge. And when I say huge, it's probably 4 acres,
Right.
this retention pond. And it's probably 30 foot,
Yeah.
30 foot deep. Got 20 foot tall young pine trees.
Right.
The only part of those pine trees you could see were about 3 foot at the top.
And
Because it had flooded everything.
Right. And there's oh shoot, now I forget the name of the park because I believe they changed the name of the park. It's a little walking trail over between 31st Street and 18th.
Uh-huh.
And it's a nice one. That's a retention pond. That
Right.
is stormwater runoff, and I have seen that hold quite a bit of water.
And that's so people's yards don't flood.
Exactly.
That's so your lawn that you're worried about doesn't get killed by flooding.
And it's also a percolation type area, so that, say, we put our fertilizer down the end of March, and if we'd have gotten a very early tropical storm that would have come through, that runoff wouldn't have just run down into storm sewers and into the local creek. It would have run down, it's going to run down into these retention areas in which the grasses that grow there, the trees and things like that are planted down in there, help to take in some of that, the nitrogens and things like that from the yard fertilizers and act as a filter
Right.
on that water's way down through to recharge
it's
the
all about-
aquifer drainage.
It's all about filter.
Mhm.
That's really what it's about. So it
Even
doesn't
the-
run into the Silver River
Right.
or into the
Even
springs.
the golf courses themselves, and I forget the how do the formula, but how many 1 inch of water over so many acres equals so many thousands of gallons
Right.
of water that the grassy areas out here in the airport are recharge areas. All the golf courses actually are recharge areas
100%.
because it's just grass. They may not be the best filters, but they are filters because there's nothing there. There's no asphalt there to
Right.
to
When
block
they redesigned the Ocala Golf Club 10 years ago, 2009. So 2009 actually 13 years ago now.
Yeah.
When they redesigned it, the entire reason one of the main reasons they redesigned it was to stop the flooding of the neighborhoods around it and to stop 40 from flooding.
And part of the monster pipe out there on 40.
Right.
That was,
So they did that. The retention ponds and all were put in place with that in mind.
yes.
To stop because you know as well as I do, you've lived here a while.
Yeah.
40 was unpassable. You get a rain like we got last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And you got
40's
pumps
closed.
you've got pumps sitting on the side of the road, yeah.
40 was closed.
And they're doing a lot more work now, still down 441 on that in order to help alleviate flooding in neighborhoods. I'm not exactly sure where they're taking all this water to, just because, I haven't seen any new retention areas, but it could be that there's some open, more swampy areas that they could just go ahead and continue to pump some of that into.
And you talk about caves around this area. People forget you can go to, what's the little park right there just past Cornerstone?
Brick City Park.
Brick City.
Yeah.
There's actually a cave there that you can register with the city, and you go spelunking where you need to rappel down into it and everything.
Right.
Because it's just a little hole in the ground.
Yeah.
But you
and then there's
there.
What is it, Scott Springs
Scott
Park.
Springs has caves.
And on 441, the sheriff's department actually has use. I don't know if they own it, but it's a canine training area. Right. Just on the north side of Bellevue.
There's caves in there.
There's caves in there, and there's actually, it's chain linked off, and it says canine training facility, and that's so we have caves. All throughout this area, and it's because of the lime rock. Part of it, it's sinkhole issues and things like that have caused some of these depressions. And again, it's a matter of being good stewards to the environment with what we're working with. I have shared let's see if I can bring it up. It's a University of Florida Bringing Landscapes that you can actually download the app to find out your fertilizer restrictions in the area.
Oh, good.
I don't think too much restrictions, but then you're gonna have to open the app. I have that time.
We'll take more about that app on the other side. You're listening to Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines with the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting.
Okay. YouTube is still live, so everything you said could be heard up there.
Right, but for some reason it's not.
Here, the folks in this region
It's
who are
going
thinking
according to
about
board.
making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
New York Democrat Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called Vice President Kamala Harris's comments on immigration disappointing on Monday.
It's got to be
She tweeted,
over here.
"We can't help set someone's house on fire and then blame them for fleeing." End quote. Scientists on Monday announced they have identified a new species of dinosaur that is the largest ever found in Australia. The giant sauropod was officially named the Southern Titan by researchers in Queensland. Experts say the dinosaur weighed about 70 tons, measured 21 feet tall, and extended to about the length of a basketball court.
Oh, good.
USA
You need
Breaking
this?
News.
I will in a minute.
Rockstar Radio. Did you know
Ready?
this station, this network, is looking for their next rockstar broadcaster? That's right, we are. And it could be you. It could be you interviewing the guest, talking to the newsmakers, right in the middle of everything. Have you
We got
ever
both-
dreamed of
both
being a
one and
rockstar
two now, and
show?
then
Now
Ocala.
is your chance. Together with this
Three.
team, we'll help you with everything you need. The studios, the equipment, your own producer, or co-host if you'd like, and so much more. Broadcasting is changing. There's never been a need for fresh voices and unique opinions like there is right now. You can do this. Our professional team will guide you every step of the way. Sound effects, show content, building your social network media, and everything you need to be the next rockstar broadcaster. Get all the details. Email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. To get started with your own show, email bill@rockstar.today. That's bill@rockstar.today. Don't wait. You can be the next voice for America. Email bill@rockstar.today.
On June 15th at 8:30 a.m., Dr. Hal McSwain of First Congregation United Church of Christ and Rabbi Z.F. Harari of Temple Beth Shalom of Ocala will be my guest to let us know about the Ocala Tree of Life Sanctuary. This sanctuary will have Jews and Christians worship under one roof. Be sure to tune in. Again, that's Tuesday, June 15th at 8:30 a.m. Brought to you by the First Congregation United Church of Christ, Temple Beth Shalom of Ocala, and your friends here at WOCA The Source.
Hey, if you're looking for crepe myrtles, there's no point in running all over town looking for just what you want. Come on out to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. where they have a huge selection of smaller sized pink and white crepe myrtles for just $6.99. Larger ones, of course. You can choose large crepe myrtles, 15 feet or more, delivered, planted, and guaranteed. Many of them are buy one, get one free. Other deals this week at Bob Wine's gorgeous Penta, a flat of 18, just $19.99. Some are annuals, they're just $2.29, or get a flat of 18 for just $19.99. And in the greenhouse, get 20% off on all indoor foliage for your home. Got a job to do? Call on Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Nursery, Garden Center, and Landscaping on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Hi, I'm Lori.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
We are
The American Moms.
Join us Monday through Friday,
10:30 to 11 a.m.
on WOCA Radio
96.3 FM
and 1370 AM, The Source. So that wasn't so bad, was it? See, you're gonna like radio. It's a lot of fun. And you have to talk. I can't, you have to respond. Just respond to me.
American Moms is brought to you by Stanfield Chiropractic.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage check.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
That's right, we got Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin with us for another 30 minutes. Every Tuesday she's here. Carol Ann, before we went to break, you talked about an app that will tell you about restrictions on fertilizer.
Right, and actually one of them is linked to the kindergarten Facebook and if you're not part of that, which you should be, just ask to join. And that way you get your reminder that the show's coming on every week. But there is one, and I clicked on it for us. I haven't downloaded the app, but if you do the https://FFL.IFAS, which is IFAS, Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences, that's what I really did, .ufl.edu/fertilizer/ you will get the map of the state of Florida. You put in your location that you're concerned about, which I put in Ocala. We have no restrictions in Ocala, except for some of the common sense ones of staying away from bodies of water and things like that, and that using the proper amount of fertilization when it's time to fertilize. Dunellen in our county is one that has fertilizer restrictions, and so if you happen to be in the Dunellen area, I would seriously be taking a look at it.
And that's because of Rainbow and with Lacucci.
It is. And also I did was I put Ocala, Florida, USA. It came up, brought me all of Marion County, and this is Marion County, and it says Ocala's no municipal fertilizer ordinances, but a county ordinance may apply, and it goes through it. It gives you a list of buttons that you can click on to see exemptions, setback for water bodies. If you're on one of the lakes around here, it's 30 feet for any non-turf area within the distance of any pond, stream, watercourse, lake, canal, or wetland as defined by blah, blah, blah. 75 feet of the ordinary high water line of a water body for which environmentally sensitive lands overlay zones. So, you know, if you're right on one of the water, you know, bodies of water, if you have, or if you're close to Silver River and things like that, it's like you may just consider going, you know what, my grass can do with what it's got. Because every time we mow, we're actually fertilizing the lawn.
Yeah, people don't realize that when you your
you're
grass
becoming
clippings
nitrogen.
becomes-
You're becoming nitrogen, and or using more of a little more of an organic type fertilizer, which doesn't feed quite so heavily, but does offer something, or even just some simple iron and things like that to it. But it's really kind of a neat resource if you didn't want the app. I would say the app would be a little more important for somebody in the industry, but just having the ffl.ifas.ufl.edu/fertilizer, and you can bring that, you can bring this up and you can see
County by county, state,
county by
municipality by
county,
municipality.
right? And so you'll be able to just see, and you don't have to download that. You just and the link is there in the Facebook group page to that.
A lot of farmers probably use that.
A lot of farmers probably use it, landscape companies, places like that have to deal with